If his daughter was this little creepy doll, I bet Stallone would whoop her ass. I'm just saying.
I was like,
But
who is
Stallone,
Megan?
yeah, I know, right? That's that. Yeah, Megan, the serial killing robot. They're doing a sequel, everybody. Megan 2 is coming, and we just saw this not too long ago. Of course, Megan is about, like I was saying, this robot that's supposed to be a child's best friend, and all of a sudden, once it pairs, it starts going a little crazy, a little heroin, a little nuts, and starts killing people. But the sequel is supposed to be called, as of now, Megan 2.0. And it's by the same writer, the same stars are coming back, the cast is coming back. They're going to try to recreate the magic of Megan. Now, I wanted to have a discussion about this because it's one of those things that's kind of going nuts. It did really well. Everyone always is doing this whole dancing thing, which is funny because when you watch the movie, maybe a little bit of spoiler talk, everybody, but when you watch the movie too, the way she's dancing, everyone, like, there's so much ads about that dancing, and it's like one little sequence, and then she kills somebody. To me, I'm like, this is it. This is what it is. Everyone's going nuts about. Sabrina, did you see Megan, and what do you think about this character? And do you think it warrants having a sequel?
JR said they based Megan on my ex-wife. That's hilarious.
Everyone's like dressing. This would be like the Halloween costume of the year. I guarantee it.
I honestly, I did do a little bit of I went down the rabbit hole on those dances that everyone was doing online, and some of them are pretty fucking funny. I'll be honest, but out of the movie. The movie was all right. I mean, it wasn't great. It was kind of subpar, if you ask me. It was like not very scary, sort of predictable. And also, I hate fucking dolls personally. Like, I hate dolls. Ever since I saw like Barbarella when I was little, like I like literally gathered every doll that I owned, put it in a corner, and like put a comfort on it. And I never wanted to play with the doll again. Like they're creepy and fucking weird. So I expected to be terrified, like Annabelle terrified, and it just wasn't really scary.
Yeah.
It didn't freak me out at all. Like, I mean, I don't know. It just, I don't, it was very successful. I think it's part of the dancing thing though, honestly. Like, people, oh, here, what did Rachel say? The viral advertising is what made the box office numbers so high, and they can't do, I don't know if they could do that twice. Yeah. I don't, honestly, I didn't love it. I wouldn't personally see a second one now, but it's like James Wan and Jason Blum of Blumhouse. Like, they're two of the most talented horror people around. So I kind of expected more, and maybe that was part of my problem too. Maybe I had higher expectations than I should have had. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not excited for Megan 2.0. I was kind of excited for this, but it was not great. Didn't live up to the hype, honestly.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be more brutal, actually. And of course, she does, like, pushes that kid into the street, and then she murders that guy in the elevator. But besides that, it really wasn't as brutal as I thought. Justin, I know you said you saw this. What do you think about Megan, and do you think it warrants having a sequel?
I think it does. I think it has places to go, but I agree that the first movie kind of was all very predictable, almost paint by numbers. Like, there's plants and payoffs. Like, you'd know very early that this thing that they introduced very early on is coming back at the end of the movie. The viral stuff, the dancing, like when they showed the trailer, it was funny. And I think maybe that is something that they should have advertised stronger. I think it was more of a comedy than it was a horror movie going into it. And I think that's what they should have focused on more, because the whole concept is really funny, where we've seen all these creepy doll movies. The creepy doll movies have to exist in their world too. And they're just like, oh, this thing's the perfect thing. It just has a few glitches. Don't worry about it. And
It's going to be fine, right?
yeah, I mean, I think they did the Child's Play remake that they did a few years ago.
Yeah.
They kind of tried to make that like an AI thing too. But it couldn't compete against Toy Story 4, so it bombed.
Toy Story 4 was really good, though.
It was really good.
That was a better toy movie, yeah.
But I thought that was an interesting way of taking Chucky before and putting Child's Play as a robot. Doing the artificial intelligence thing, of course, is not anything what Child's Play is supposed to be. So I'm like, it's different, but I thought it was interesting. That's what they were trying to do with this, which kind of makes sense. Like, Everyone's always pushing the artificial intelligence thing. Where is it going? How can it impact society? Are they going to start killing us, enslaving us? Which is kind of like where they could go with this too.
That's
Maybe
where it ends. The third or fourth one.
yeah,
They're just
like Megan
enslaved.
enslaves all of humanity.
It's a Terminator story. Yeah, that would actually be pretty good. I think that it does have potential though to go into something off the rails, because if you've watched like any of Chucky, the TV show Chucky, it's continuous from the very first movie, minus that remake thing that had nothing to do with Don Mancini. But I think like that's where they need to go. They just need to go absolutely insane with it. And I think
so too.
they got to think about the marketing again, because the marketing is what sold that movie. I still don't think it beat Avatar, did it? Like it still was like number 2 at the box office.
Yeah, Avatar's like, no, I laugh at you.
Yeah.
I laugh at you, Megan. James Cameron maniacally laughs at her. You know, Avatar, like nothing's stopping that right now, and they'll keep that in theaters as long as they can. They just will. Well, you know, it's one of those things. Did you see Avatar?
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah. Yeah, what'd you think of Avatar?
I think as an experience film, like the visuals and stuff, they were definitely very impressive. And the last act of that movie is definitely James Cameron showing off that he still the king of action. But I don't know. I think maybe he has too many yes men around him, too many people afraid to tell him that maybe things don't work, because he's more focused on the technical aspect of it.
Oh yeah.
And that's like if you've seen the memes where they're like showing the Rotten Tomato scores and they're comparing it to Puss in Boots to Last Wish, and it's like, yeah, Puss in Boots, which I'm sure they were making for like 3 years, had a well constructed story and it was funny, and Avatar's just like crazy for how long. What I mean, I guess he's right.
I know.
He's had a point to prove, and it's past his $2 billion mark. So I just don't understand the commitment to like,
so
you're older, you want to just die doing Avatar movies.
Yeah. He's like, this is the rest of my career right here. Because, you know, at this point, he's got 3 in the can pretty much. He's got to do 4 and 5 still. That's a lot of time. And even like they started shooting in 2017, I think it was, for these. So, I mean, think about how much time that is of your life, and guaranteed just...
Yeah.
I bet he's just involved the whole process too. I could see him being in the editing booth, like, yeah.
The cut that he submitted was 5 fucking hours.
That's a long cut.
What kind of narcissistic bullshit is that? You think you have 5 hours of material that people go and sit down and watch? Like, please stop. Just stop. 3 hours and 10 minutes is too long. But the first cut he actually submitted, he had the balls to submit, was 5 hours. Like, what is wrong with you?
I believe it. Visually, it's amazing, and honestly, it's an all right movie. But it's really just rebooting and starting again. That's all it's doing. It feels like almost like we gotta restart because we have this whole story to tell, and it's been 13 years. So okay, let's start again, set everything up, and then everything will happen after this. Yeah. You know, reestablish characters.
The same as the first one, just underwater. Like, isn't it pretty much that kind story?
Of, yeah, I mean. It's, you know, it's more about family, I would say, this episode, you know?
Oh, good. So we should have Fast and the Furious go to the Navi land, and then it's all about Fast
family.
Furious 11. Yeah.
Hey, they probably will. I mean, Vin Diesel won't have anything to do after, 2 years from now, so.
Yeah, he'll want back in. He'll be like, make me blue. Make me blue. Let's do it.
But yeah, like the special effects in that, there's a kid in it. You saw the movie?
I saw it, yeah.
Me? No, he did. Brian did. I refuse.
There's a kid in it with all these... in this complete CG world with these CG characters, and it looks fantastic. Like, he doesn't remotely look out of place. He fits in perfectly. I mean, as for the character, I don't know. It wasn't that great, but I think that's what you should have worked on. I would have rather had a stronger story with the shittiest graphics of all time, as opposed to like, oh, it looks amazing, but
where's the substance?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you, and they're really, like I said, it just set up, and Spider was all right. It was really touching again, family. You know, it was him and Miles, and like, oh, this is kind of my kid, but not my kid. The whole movie was family. The whole movie was family. If you ask me, that's why I started laughing. I'm like, oh, this is like what they're going for, which sells, which is probably why it made so much money.